Hi guys, good morning. I'm going to start a little bit earlier because Miss Effie decided to come here. So I'm going to leave the music for us to have something to keep busy while she is watching her birds. And I don't know if this is going to work or if this has a loop. Does it have a loop? Can this loop? Come on. I'll try. So let's give it a few minutes until we get together. And let's Savvy watch her squirrels and birds. I'm still deciding which tarot deck to use today, so let's listen to the music for a few minutes until I really figure out which one makes me feel right for today. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. So we will see now if I figured out how to make it on the loop. It doesn't look like I did figure it out. Oh, I did. Okay, let's do it one more time. I think I decided on Psychic Tarot. And I might use angel cards. And I know that Barbie is going to say, Kat, I need questions for everybody. So I decided on that deck as well. That's going to be Kitty Cards deck, Cat's Eye Tarot, or Law of Attraction. I use both of them. So Sevi, will you let us use this? Oh, that's another thing I need. Happy birthdays, Virgos. So Safi, what do you say we start right now? Huh, Safi? I'm going to leave the birds here a little bit in a smaller window so you can do it and I can deal with my crowd. How is this? We both win. What do you say? Would this work? and I can open my live session in a different window here. Oh, would this work? There we go. It's Safi watching everybody's comments, guys. Yay! Hello, Barbie. Hello, Steve. Hello, Knitting Yogi. Tara, Anita. Hello, everybody. So, Safi is here, and I have kind of decided what to do today. I just didn't. Oh, thank you, my lady. Are you going to let me do the thingies? You will, you will. All right, so what I have here is the little notebook that I need to write certain things off. So just give me one more second. So Safi, are you going to say hi to everybody? Huh? Are you going to say hi to everybody? Hey, Tiger, I'm actually preparing the notepad so I can, yeah, I'm cleaning my notebook so I can actually write for Miss Barbie. So there it is. It's done. Clean, ready. So where do I start, guys? Happy full moon. Full moon in Pisces. Do you know which card in tarot? Which sign card moon represents in tarot? Pisces. So let's see what's going to happen over here. And yeah, and she's hearing the creaking sound, but she doesn't know where this is coming from. So okay, while I cover this, while you're watching Safi, watching movies here, let me just really tell you in this introduction about this special full moon. It arrived over here Eastern Standard Time, I believe, just after midnight. And it's actually really strong, right? I was trying to see it. I was up until 1 o'clock in the morning, but we had cloudy skies, so it just really didn't show. But I have Google Sky, and then basically point it, and it kind of like really shows there. So this is also called Harvest Moon, and it is like in that gentle Pisces basically sign. So it's very different from other full moons because September generally specifically relates to fall, right? In the northern hemisphere, or spring in the southern hemisphere, right? As they're opposite of us. And so equinox is going to be, I believe, on 22nd. And so this month's full moon, it's kind of like having that very unusual name because it's the one that really comes close to basically the equinox, a time where day and night are of the equal length. So you have to understand, like, I mean, this kind of like feels like a balance because this is kind of like a period where sort of like everything is like kind of illuminated by this full moon light. And when it's in Pisces, it really talks about a culmination of cosmic events. Pisces being the last sign, it's actually most evolved spiritually. They don't come here to really learn lessons about ego and stuff, even though the other kind of like combination of planets can really talk about that. But like, you really have to ask yourself, what have you been doing over the last 6 months? If you feel you have been blocked everywhere, are you feeling you have been going forward everywhere, so on and so forth, right? So the moon is considered to be really comfortable in all water signs because it is like, I mean, native to Pisces, and it's sort of like talking about that's their home, right? And kind of like keep that in mind. So this full moon is really about nourishment and tenderness, right? And so water signs will tend to carry that more of emotional, what's the word, attunements, like where you're going to feel better relating to the others, right? It's going to feel that they're going to be specifically gentle and kind, right? So keep in mind, it's very important not to be reactive, because for the rest of us, this moon can make us very reactive. It could make us feel that, whew, you know, this is what you're doing to me. There are kind of like lots of perceptions, right? Because it might also obscure things that we need to do. So just try to go more into intuitive parts rather than sort of like, oh, you did this to me, right? So what you guys can do in this particular moon period, ask for healing and ask for fixing one area of your life. One. It's going to be different for each one of you and for different signs, because all full moons are just beautiful opportunities to kind of let go of the stuff. It's kind of like, here it is, the door is open. Take advantage of it. Just after this live, spend 10-15 minutes, write it down what you're letting go, and write down, I want this area of my life to be fixed, right? Also give your own quote-unquote contribution. In order to do that, in order to move along, I'm going to do this. With full moon, you also need to do some kind of sacrifice, right? So also all full moons have rulers, and this one is like this kind of like a gas planet, gas giant, Jupiter, and which is like really in their native sign of Sagittarius, even though it kind of like has, from what I've seen, some kind of like really hard aspects to the sun and this harvest moon. So that's why I'm warning that issues could be kind of like very inflated, and meaning that we might want to take risks and we might feel overconfident and then poof, fall flat, right? So be careful, kind of like slow down, think before acting, do not kind of like jump into things, right? Pisces is also ruled with Neptune, and it's also associated with this full moon, but it's kind of like really conjuncting, and conjunction is a good thing in astrology. So again, bottom line is like we can expect to harness the energy, but it's really telling us that Rome was not built in a day. Take it easy, take it slow, and keep us kind of grounded, not to go in any kind of like delusions and any kind of distractions. So Safi is going to have to excuse me right now, that she'll have to watch her birdies later, and I'm going to start if YouTube allows me to do that. So knitting yogi, your birthday was yesterday, Friday the 13th, on the full moon. Okay, so full moon Virgo, full moon in Pisces. So you may have felt a little bit, it really depends on where is your moon in as well, how this is going to react. But again, it's kind of like a really harvesty, really grounding moon. And happy birthday, sweetie, because it's so nice to have Virgos here to bring us kind of like a statement. So let's see, to catch up with you. Now I can see your comments. Oh my gosh, look at this. We have more people. People are coming back from vacation and kind of like getting more interested in kind of like spending their Saturday in front of the computer. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use Psychic Tarot, and I'm going to use angel cards if I need to kind of clarify something. So we are going to see. So it might be a little bit kind of like a quicker session today, but let's do it. So I might not go back and forth today between the signs and stuff, because I don't know if I told you, my landlord is doing lots of work during the weekends. So I mean, I cannot even open the window to like get not to get the dust in, but it's also very noisy. So I have to do lots of work today. So in order to jump into that, I just want to do it right away. So happy birthday, Virgo. We are going to start with you, and we are going to see what is up in the store with you. So Virgo, let's see. Virgo, this one wants to come out. Safi, what do you think for Virgo that's going to come? What do you think is going to come for Virgos? She says, I don't care. Safi is sick. Tiger is sick. I am sick. So hopefully, ooh, Triumph. Oh my God, Virgo, congratulations. This is going to be absolutely lovely for your birthday over here. So I'm going to move it this way a little bit, because this furry furball is not going to really move her thing. So you guys, look at these. You have these amazing stuff. So Triumph really talks about that you're setting up new goals. You have decided where you want to go. And interestingly enough, because this week is going to carry this energy of full moon, so keeping in mind not to get I tried to move these cards, and of course they spread all over the table. Try not to be too rash or too brash. I mean, this is not really typical for you, Virgo, but Chariot and Triumph, or Triumph can actually really indicate that, right? So this is also really, really good sign, especially if you, well, it can mean that you simply as that maybe you're dealing with, oh, there she is. She did allow us finally to be on our own. I mean, I love her presence, but at the same time, it is very difficult for me to kind of like get that real estate on a table when she's there. So I don't know, maybe you guys dealing with Cancer over here, but this is really talking about basically the power of your soul. And even though you're a very pragmatic sign, my dear Virgo, this is really telling me that there's like something bubbling from inside where you really feel that there is like some kind of a journey you're going on to. The journey simply could mean journey, travel somewhere, but it kind of really talks about this developing ideas and setting new goals, right? And again, be very careful that you're thinking it out, that you're checking out if you're going in a foreign country, if this is a good destination, check the weather. We like cannot really just go like on a spur of the moment with this, like, I mean, changes in weather. Apparently it's not going to be as safe as it was, so you really have to understand that, you know, you have to take in in account all this kind of like extremes. This is really to me talking about your inner guide and inner guidance, right? Kind of like go into that intuition that this full moon is really talking about it. And the balance, having balance is going to be the key over here, because when you try to move forward without balance or any kind of like guidance, you might actually just slip into your old habits, or like, I mean, veered off your intended path, right? So it's not the time to kind of like just say, oh, just going to be spontaneous, etc. No, this is really the opposite. This is the time where you really know what you're going. In your case, almost looks to me that you are setting some kind of goals that are matter of the heart, because to me these are like unbelievable cards that really talk about that. And hello again. This is really telling me, this is to me ultimate friendship card, and this is a soulmate card. You guys, if you are in a relationship, it's going to be great. It's going to be having lots of ching and celebrations, and you're going to really, really feel comfortable. Maybe this simply means in that respect that you are going to be taking your relationship to the next level. Even though I also have to say, some of you will feel, okay, so this relationship is on the right course and I'm feeling comfortable with that without really going to this next level. For those of you who are searching, who actually want to seek somebody, it really tells me that going out with your friends might make you meet somebody. So this is absolutely lovely. And you might meet somebody, man or a woman, whoever it is that you want to meet, who might feel ambitious, who might feel, hey, they know what they're doing. Almost looks like you have been for a while looking for somebody who has a plan. So just really, really go for this. And what is this tingly thing that I hate when this happens? And let me see, angel card for you. Romance. I mean, do I really Virgo, like, I mean, we love you, but come on, allow a little bit of this for the rest of us to kind of like come to play, right? So this is really telling me that this is like a very important relationship, and there's like some kind of like romance or relationship that is on the horizon. Almost looks like lover's card to me, like with these two entities, the soul entities, right? Maybe there's like something that is going to happen that you have been waiting for, right? Maybe there was like something that had ups and downs, and now like finally you feel, okay, I finally curl it down, we finally managed to balance out our differences, kind of stuff. So you are feeling confident and you need to have faith. So for those of you who are looking for love, just attack it aggressively. Look for it everywhere. Don't go, oh, maybe I'm going to spend the whole week preparing for it. No, get off your furry butt now, immediately, right? So keep in mind that this card, very much like this one, is really talking that upward movement. There is like kind of like new level of dedication. There is like new level of intimacy. Yes, when I see this combination, this can include engagement, marriage, or some kind of like recommitment to each other. So I'm really not afraid for you. I really think you had also very good monthlies as well, right? So it kind of like was something along that line. So we are going to go to the sign that is still keeping the top number of clicks, and that is, come on, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Yes, that is like Leo. So Leo, 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 let us see what is up with you. What is up with you? Oops. Oh my gosh, we have repetition of rejoice and celebration, and we have solitude. And this notebook is sticking to my elbow, and hence it's bothering me. Yeah, you do know that I have very slight OCD, and until I have stuff clean around me and organized, okay, my brain just cannot work properly, which is kind of like really good. Or could it be my German mother that put me into that OCD state? Holy moly over here, Leo. So this full moon kind of like is affecting you. So there is like really interesting thing that I see over here. I think very much like Virgo, and I do encourage you, let me just lift it up. I do encourage you to check Virgo reading as well, because this kind of has a similar flavor. They also had this card. But look at this, 13 and 9 is 22. 22 is a master card, and yes, and I'm not adding this because these are major arcanas only. So having these two major arcana, one hermit, one death card here, and this is like my ultimate Barbie card over here, like this kind of like woman with all her intensity that is like really showing up here. Both of these cards, and remember how I said this full moon is going to affect us with kind of a nourishment quality over here. And even though there's like some kind of celebration, and I have to stop these birds over here, we don't need them anymore. So there is like some kind of like a joy over here that kind of like comes to some kind of like celebrative moment that I think it's really, really happening over here. But it almost like feels like maybe it was like too many things happening for you, and maybe you're feeling, okay, I really need to stop and kind of like smell the roses, right? But this card really talks about time of endings, and it could be something really this is abrupt. This is clearly talking about now the scorpionic energy. It's really talking about this transformative energy, right? So there's like something that is going to take place in your life in any kind of area. Remember how I was saying, if you guys didn't listen, go to the beginning and listen to and I saw, oh my gosh, 22 and also 22 watching. So this is really suggesting to me that messages to you have to be extremely strong for you, Leo. They're like spirit, whatever you want to call it, communicating over here. So how I said it in this initial segment about full moons, go and check it out, because you need to decide which area of life you really want to revive or change or transform, whatever it is, personal life, relationship, business, career. Because right now, like, I mean, you have that strength, as the transformation card is kind of like asking you, look, you need to have the courage. It's kind of really linking to your own card, which you had during your transition, right, during Leo, and now we are transition through Hermit, and it's really telling me that you are really nicely moving along, right? When this card shows up, it's really telling me that there's like something that you have been doing the old way, and it is like something that we all do, like it's tried and true. Like, do you ever, like, I usually connect this like I'm moving to a new place, all of a sudden you have a new opportunity to mess it up, right? Like, you're putting all these items, and it's like not all this like tinkering kind of like things that you have everywhere like in your old place. So this is kind of like ending one way and giving you opportunity to do another way, because there's like something from the past that cannot longer be tolerated. You need to shed it. It's time to move on, right? So look at your own life and kind of like see if there are any loose ends that kind of like need to be kind of like tied up, or that there are people in your life that you kind of like really need to express yourself to. Maybe what needs to be completed, maybe something just like simply a project or a person or something you kept on going and reheating it, and finally this food or person or event cannot be reheated anymore, right? So when you start doing that, you will kind of have really stronger and like more kind of reinforced foundation. So this is really good. So let's see. And this card wanted to come out, and it says ask by angels. There are lots of Freudian slips this day, and the sound that you're hearing, that will be Tiger right next to me for drinking water over here. So I really think what we are really doing over here, so whatever is like your belief system, you really need to focus that, you know, you have this help. Remember how I said this is kind of like wisdom inside? It's kind of like all connecting here properly, right? You need to ask your angels for assistance. If you do not believe in angels, then think of angels as this universal energy, like it means give and take. So if you're negative in your opinion, and maybe that's why you have a transformation, like more or less negativity is going to come back. Like we are just looking at this slice in life, like, you know, MRI that is happening right now, but we don't realize this has been built up from all these events that we did in order to have where we are. In order to move forward and have a different slice somewhere in the future, we have to start with kind of like doing and working on it right now. So you can simply say, well, this is what I want, this is my attention, very loud or silently, whichever you want, and immediately these angels will help you. You also have to kind of keep along. You just cannot say, well, I want $1 million and I'm going to sit on my bed, do nothing and sleep while your angels work on it. No, they're here to push you and to help you. So you need to kind of like make this kind of like motion about that, right? But you need to kind of like work with connecting to these messages, because they will be very helpful to you. So I'm not afraid of you, Leo. You're going to pretty good week, but at the same time, transformative week where you're going to come up with some new answers and kind of like maybe new ways of how you look at things and how you approach things. So the next one is going to be Cancer. So Cancer. Let me just catch up over here. Cancer. Ooh, we have accelerated motion. Love this card. My gosh, Cancer. What? Look at that. Look at all of these big things. This full moon, guys. It's really calling us to work it, right? So look at this. 13 and 6 is 19. 19 is the Sun card. Whoa. Like really, really good. It's really interesting because your card is kind of connecting to the moon as well. So this full moon, and then when you have the moon and the sun appearing as kind of like we have the stars and the sun appearing in the background, we are really talking about something really, really big happening. Cancers, I really think, so okay, let's talk about the Cancers that actually have somebody. This is going to be lovely. It was very loving, but it's, well, I shouldn't say but, because but, like, I mean, reverses everything that I just said. So you had maybe lovely relationships, and you're actually going to see this relationship now reaching different level. You know, like we go through emotions and things. Maybe there was like, okay, I love you, and now I really think that we should kind of like move together, because this is talking about ending. But in this particular case, this ending could be a good thing. So you're no longer dating at this stage, you're moving in together. So you see it ended that initial phase. So something is going to move forward for you, Cancer. Something is going to go in a really direction where maybe you're not going to feel obstacles in a relationship or obstacles in something else. This card here is like a really, really fast card. Accelerated motion means that maybe something you didn't even see would kind of like grow to some kind of like level. It's actually going to be very, very beneficial over here. So accelerated motion to me is really talking about kind of like having your own dreams, having kind of like a willingness to move in a completely new direction. There's like this observation about something. But at the same time, I also have to admit that this card kind of like sometimes gives me pause, right? Because kind of like she's really looking at it. Is she hoping? And is she now connecting to the star card? Because this is an interesting deck. It's a combination between tarot and oracle, right? I really think, to me, this card talks about big dreams and talk about wishing upon a star. This is really telling me about there is like that hope, and but like, I really think there is also something that you have connected to kind of delays. So for those of you who are single, maybe you felt, I really want something, but you were not getting results that you really wanted. This is now transforming. No more delays, and you will be like a rapidly accelerated. This is like step on the gas, heading kind of like in this kind of like direction of your goals and desires. It's going to be a big enthusiasm. You're going to feel really right about that. But at the same time, you know how I said about full moon, do not do this? You're saying, screw you, cat, I'm doing it. Watch me, pew, like I'm stepping on this. Like, so you better think through it, because you're going to get it. So do not come later, complain to me, well, it was whirlwind romance. Well, like, I mean, this is all great, it's all romantic, but then you later, like, I mean, you announce it to the whole world, everything is going on, this is very typical of you, and then later, well, like, I have to deal with this or this or this, right? Having said that, this is a card of initiative. So there's like something in your life that maybe you need to act upon, and you will act upon it. So that's going to be really interesting. And then you have the card, if you believe. Look at that. Where is my Merkaba? You're getting Merkaba. Merkaba, it's very important, guys. There's Merkaba meditation that I probably wouldn't recommend you do it unless you're truly ready. Merkaba also makes you pretty much not reincarnate, or reincarnate at a later time. So why is that a problem? First of all, it's not a problem. That means you're an old soul. But some people, especially parents, they want to see that they actually reincarnate in the same life where their kids reincarnate, so they can continue the messages and they can continue this collaboration, right? So generally you will find people who are childless, like me. They kind of like reincarnate randomly, because we just come down on this planet to learn the lessons, or in my case, I think I'm done with all the learning and karma. I just come here to learn advanced lessons, and that's why I was born with numerology 11 and also Aquarians, which is sign number 11. So this, to me, because like we tend to be in this sort of like spiritual envelope that kind of like really looks like Merkaba, and Merkaba meditation kind of like seals you back to it, which this star and Merkaba can talk about it. So this, to me, it really talks about law of attraction over here. And again, the same thing, you need to set an area of your life where you really want to kind of like succeed and stay positive and visualize the outcome that you're really hoping for, that you really want to go into that, right? Because that law of attraction is going to bring us what we are visualizing. So you need to work on your visualization again, not once, not twice, every morning, every night. And this is the week where you're really putting in seeds. And if you fall into kind of like doubt, and you don't believe your own self-worth, you don't believe you deserve this relationship, you don't believe that your life can transform like magically, well, experiences are going to deliver you that as well. So you need to believe in yourself, and you need to cherish your dreams. So that is going to be very important. Okay, so let me catch up and see the conversation over here. If somebody asks me any questions, if I forgot to answer anything, let's see what's going on over here. Okay, Steve is saying he wants to change his career because everything else will resolve. Of course, and that's what I have learned from Feng Shui, which like it's kind of like simply the energies of flow in the home. Whenever you have a clutter or something, Feng Shui is not going to work. So then people tend to clean everything, which is kind of good, but now it's coming from all directions, and you again becoming messy. So it's better to go kind of like step by step in this situation. So Kylie, good morning. Hey, from the Thea shop. So you're new. Welcome everybody. Please embrace I don't know, what her name, Thea, I guess it will be, and go with that. Happy Care Day. Really good to see you here. You'll really enjoy that. It's a really nice crowd. Sally Leo was at 1949. This was Cancer. So, oh, Kylie, look at this. Like, look at my mods. They're doing really, really well. So let's go with Scorpio next. Scorpio. What is new for you in this week? Oops, something turned around. And again, we have the major. We have authority. We have, again, two majors. You guys, authority and patience. For Scorpio, these are like two fire majors, right? Authority means like, I mean, finally putting things in some kind of control, and your willingness to kind of like take this further. Look at that, they're adding to 18, and da-da, 18 is the moon. Scorpio, go to the beginning and listen to full moon explanation, what needs to be done. You're setting things up in place. You are reorganizing things. You are reconciling two very, very different things in your life. Look at it. We have the growth of a flower and you have a smoke and simultaneously happening. There is like this aura over here. So you have to figure out which way to go, not to kind of like trip over yourself, because I do see here that you might be getting in your own way a little bit, even though both of these cards are really, really good. Because this dude here with authority, he kind of like knows what he wants, and these directives are going really quickly and fast. And this card, on the other hand, is almost like a soft approach, and it's talking about this need for patience and self-control and adjustment. And maybe this is kind of like what it really talks. Sure, authority and control is needed, but how you go about that, it's going to be very, very important, right? So again, this is really talking about this full moon energy is going to be about how you think and how you work and how you handle your school, your recreation, people in your life, or even the spiritual path that somehow is being kind of like set for you, right? In the process. I really think like there's like also something, Scorpio, where you're becoming, you know, like your card is a transformation card in this deck, but I'm totally picking up also that you are kind of becoming disconnected from spirit, and the spirit is basically that source is nourishing you, right? And when you get disconnected, you know, it's often replaced with different supply of like a supply or a substitute of some kind of like sort, right? Now, what I mean by that, do not go to food, you know, binging or alcohol, nicotine, any kind of like codependency, right? That can kind of like really work problems here, because this is really telling me, hey, be kind and be gentle, be nice to yourself, right? As a soul, you really have more than one aspect to yourself. And this is specifically to me referring to Scorpios who are third decan Scorpios. So I'm talking about this late November. So let's say November 12th, 10, 12 to the end of Scorpio process, right? Because this is really telling me that this is a very spiritual time. That's why this is heading to the moon, to Pisces, and this is going to be extremely strong transition for you, right? So honor everything that you bring to this planet. Honor everything that you can actually bring over here. Listen to your own mind, listen to your heart. And this is like really asking you to have faith in yourself and create harmony. And then this is double down over here, material and spiritual prosperity. There is like this abundance that you're feeling. And abundance is not about money, even though this card can spell money. And look at that lush. Just think about it if this is you. And if you're standing on some kind of like fence like that, wouldn't that be a glorious sight you see? Wouldn't you immediately feel the flow going through you? I think, guys, for you it is about love, love, love. It is about feeling that there is like something really, really nourishing happening. It is like something is really pushing it forward. It's almost like in it's going to be almost like a bonus of some kind. Maybe you're going to get a pay raise or even promotion or something like, right? And something can actually appear right out of the blue. Pisces, right? It's a darkness. You're tapping in a freaking dark, and then like you touch something, is what is this? And then it seems to be a good thing, right? So it can also kind of like talk about some kind of like group work that maybe has happened in the past, and now you're feeling you're kind of accomplishing this goal. Because just keep in mind, it's going to be really kind of like prosperous time. And this card is also the ultimate card about giving and receiving, and you being an ability and having ability to kind of like push it forward. So you might also really go out of your way and do that and give a donation of some sort if you have, you know, a person or favorite charity, but not in a sense that, hey, I'm doing this to get this like tax receipt, right? Do this because you know you can, even if this means very, very small things. Like whenever I go to PetSmart and I buy food, absolutely always I add some money for helping those cats and dogs, which was my dedication. I remember when I said when I'm doing my annuals, part of the money, I think actually all of the money went to that this year. So, you know, if you purchase my annuals, and I hope you guys will, then you know your money is like spent that way as well. So guys, Scorpio, I would just say practice this generosity and gratitude and compassion, and be patient with yourself, be patient with the other people in your life, and things are actually going to be really good in more than one areas of your life over here. So now I probably would expect that Barbie oh my god, I just said that, and I'm seeing doors 1, 2, and 3. So, oh my gosh, Barbie, you and me are in sync. So, I think I'm going to cover this now this way. Nope, wrong thing. I pulled up here until I get cards. And you guys think about a question, and I'm going to shuffle cards and put them over here. 3 different cards to see what comes out. Okay, so oh my gosh, the deck that I picked is kind of like hard to grab. So doors, ask a question. So one that come out, that's the door number 1. Second one flipped and going to be door number 2, and it's going to be door number 3. Okay guys, have you made your mind up? Let's see, come on. Oh, it's not returning me back to my live dashboard. So door number 1. Your hand was up, yes. 10 of Swords. Ouch and ouch and ouch. But you know what? When you see that regular kind of card where you see that 10 of Swords, gloom and gloom kind of like a thing, when guy having all these freaking swords in his back doesn't really look amazing. But in this particular deck, we are seeing here, okay, cats are running the show. Almost like could be a hurting kind of like thing over here, where maybe there is like, I mean, some kind of like malnourishment of some sort. So this is really telling me that maybe, you know, like, I mean, it's kind of bottom of the barrel when all these kind of like cats have to share the space in this filthy home. And almost like we see this like mother with the kittens, and the litter is here. So use your mind, guys, over here, and you need to really be kind of like be truthful kind of like with yourself over here. This really tells me there's like a sense of feeling that you're a victim in a situation, and that maybe, you know, what you really want, it feels like it is really not achievable. Swords always to me is a sign you need to go back to the drawing board. You really need to think what is that you want. Going back to the full moon, do you want a better life? You need to clear your mind. You need to make this realistic assessment. What you have asked for has nothing like to do with your message is basically saying. It's saying you don't even really know what you need to ask for yourself. You need to go back to the drawing board and you need to kind of like rebuild it in a different way, right? So only then you need to move forward. So it's telling you, forget a question. It's literally telling you, forget a question. Do not allow this idea of being a victim. And see, like, what I mean by that is like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. So the spirit is saying, okay, so what the hell you're asking me? If this is going to happen, you can do it. Roll up your sleeves, but you need to kind of like figure certain things out, how you can get there on your own, right? So yeah, you can kind of like be in charge. So number 2 is 4 of Cups reverse. Well, this is how Safi felt this whole week with her sneezing and stuff, right? So here we see the kitty with some kind of like lethargic kind of like feeling. But this card can also talk about some kind of like self-absorption, maybe even withdrawing. Maybe somebody withdrew from you. Maybe you are kind of asking for somebody kind of coming back into your life, right? Maybe you are spending mornings in some kind of like thought and wondering. I really like that we have Lotus, which is a really, really good sign, right? So this card is really telling me there is like a question about some kind of emotional overload. You literally, guys, are a glass full. You know how they have this expression, glass half full, and like you have to look it up? Well, this is glass full, so nothing can be given to you. So you're asking for something to be given, but there is like no room to it. So you need to take a break. You need to unload certain things from kind of like things, because you are just simply not able to receive at this stage. So very much look at the answers we are getting. Here is saying go back to the drawing board. Here is saying, well, okay, where would I give it to you? Like, you know, this joke, and I'm a horrible joke teller. Oh my god, I'm going to get crap from you people if I say this joke, but I will. Like, I mean, in Europe we have like these really jokes that maybe are not in a kind of like good spirit. You know, like the Scottish people proverbially known for kind of like being very cautious with their money, maybe quote unquote stingy. And I really apologize to anybody who kind of like has this background, because my personal dealing with Scottish people didn't say that. But so they're like, I mean, father and son coming to America, right? And like, I mean, son keeps bugging the dad. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? How much longer? How much longer? How much longer? And the dad finally snaps and said, shut up and keep swimming, right? So this is exactly it. Like, I mean, there is like this thing that kind of like keeps, you need to kind of like engage. You need to kind of like really have this like maybe longer stretch of things that you really, really need. So shake up that lethargy, and you need to wake up and smell the flowers. Very, very important. Door number 3. Ooh, 5 of Pentacles. Now, that's interesting that we are getting over here. Like, interestingly, also this woman is, you can tell that this is like not two-side deck, which is like why I'm not using it regularly. I like the decks to be 2 sides. Pentacles are always talking about physical needs. So you guys have asked questions that is really, anyway, raise the hands who did it here, Steve. You have asked physical needs question. So this could be career, this could be money, that could be just like simply about life comforts, right? So Pentacles are really talking about what kind of luxuries we can strive for in our lives. So 5 of Pentacles generally is that card, like being left out in the cold, right? And sort of like authority rejecting your needs, or hard times, rejection of some sort, right? Broken promises. But this got reversed, which tells me, yes, you might not get yes to this answer, but you are not going to be deterred. You are going to say, I haven't approached this really properly, because it's going to be, you need to kind of question your own sense of pride and your own sense of fear, and see if this is like really maybe something that's coming in a way. So just allow yourself to reposition yourself. Looks like every single question has been asked is asking for the kind of repositioning and figuring out. This is going to be about you guys coming up with a plan, because it's going to feel like this whole question that you ask is like too big of a chunk to go to. Maybe you have to kind of like chunk it out down and go and move forward with smaller chunks to get somewhere. So let's see that. Oh my gosh, look at this Barbie. I love you to death. I mean, I love everybody to death, guys. Like, I mean, what do you think? I would be spending my Saturday morning, and like, I mean, this makes me, I cannot do anything in the morning. I cannot do anything in the evening if I don't love you. Like, I mean, I'm Aquarius. You know, like, I mean, that I'm pretty much, like, I mean, hey, this is what they want. And things doesn't make sense. So obviously, I love you too. Like, I mean, death. Hi, Ashi. So the next one is Gemini. So let's see what's in the store for you. So guys, how about the doors? Did you feel like, oh my freaking good, oh my freaking god, like, right? Like, I mean, this is not exactly what I wanted. Gemini, you have suffering in silence. Honestly, this card doesn't really look to me like real suffering. This card looks to me shadow. This is the Pisces card. This is that moon. Look at that. This kind of like really gives me that feeling so well. So this is the dark side of the moon, this is the light side. Which one will you pick? And this could be Gemini. You have like these two heads, but usually they look the other way, not to each other in the stuff. Oh, look at this. Like, I mean, we have India. Hi, Ashi. It's so cute of you. So nice to say. And Gemini, you're getting some existential things. So I'm going to tell you, Gemini, that what I see over here is like you are getting a little bit moody. You are getting into a high impatience state where you're really feeling that you like really need to push yourself forward, right? You kind of like maybe feel that a grip on your life is slipping through, and that you really kind of are losing certain things, that you are not getting some results, that you are not getting goals the way you really want them, right? Look at this nines. It also tells me that you probably feel that they have been quite a bit issues that you wanted to address, and you really didn't know how to approach them. You really didn't know the directions to do that, because this is really telling me about emotions and sensitivity, but it's starting kind of like high end. Like, this is that proverbial Nine of Swords, which kind of talks about anxiety and kind of like depression, where you kind of close the door to the world and saying, F you, I just hate all of you. So this really tells me there is like some kind of like anger and accumulation of something. You feel really frustrated, right? But everything changes. And if you sit behind a closed door, how will you know if things changed outside? Because that's what you are complaining about on the outside, right? So you need to face your own worst fears and say, well, let's say this is what it is. Let's say this is like happening to the end of my life. Really? I'm going to take it? So you need to kind of like look into those dark shadows, right? And kind of like learn to confront what maybe you have been avoiding, what you basically didn't want to, you know, and really have courage to go through it, right? So this card, look at that. It's really telling you that it's going to be that light at the end of the tunnel. So you really need to recognize this, because this is also the card of past lives. This full moon is about past lives. We are going to get this window in this particular full moon about our lives from before, and like we might have like really vivid dreams, right? So you really need to kind of recognize that you basically are only imprisoning yourself. The 2 nines is telling me it's kind of like it's the end of some obstacles. You really need to get out, and you need to have the cleansing process and kind of like wash away everything that maybe you have avoided or ignored. It needs to move forward. So you are going to have a very intense psychic sensibility. You will not really know how to deal with this, right? So it's kind of going to be really interesting, because I'm also seeing a very strong earth coming over here, which is really, really important over here, because it says financial and material changes. I really think that some of you guys are going to really kind of like look into your finances, and it's going to feel like, oh, I need to take charge, because look at this. It's also kind of like referring to the same thing, where there's assessment. Well, what the heck I need, which area of my life? Please go back to the beginning of this reading when I'm addressing full moon, where I'm saying there going to be one particular issue that you need to address. In your case, guys, I really think you need to address your career slash finances over here. And you know, maybe you feel that there was like a maybe expense of some sort that you had, and it kind of like shook you up a little bit, where you maybe felt like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I have enough, and I'm really afraid that I'm overspending. And you know, like usually in the summer we tend to splurge, so you're kind of like starting to feel that you're constraining. But the moment when you constrain, karma is not flowing anymore. Like, so I'm not saying like splurges. So just it kind of like, it talks about these fears. It talks about, just let's face it, this is what they did, and I so did it, and let's kind of like move this forward, because this is really talking about asking you what basically you learn about it and how do you avoid in the future, because this is basically more about lessons and understanding of these lessons, and kind of like pushing that light, getting stuff into the light. And once when they're out of your soul, once when you face them, once when you have basically the process and the goal, all of a sudden things are going to start feeling different, right? So, well, see, you had like cuckoo bird. Oh, sorry to see that. So then you have abundance. You see, guys, it's kind of like really weird, because this abundance is going to really kind of like talk about what is your relationship with abundance. Is it about money, or is it about how comfortable you feel? Because when I see this abundance, when they're connecting with these cards, it's going to tell me that you know, it could be financial nature, that you really think abundance is considered just how much money you make. And I really think that this is going to be kind of like the difference that you're going to start experiencing, that you're going to realize that this is much more than finances, that this is like also about new ideas, a large circle of friends, and maybe kind of like vibrant health, or even romantic love. And by the way, you will really kind of like attract Pisces, this particular, anybody who has really strong Pisces in their chart. So it's going to be like really talking about, you know, you need to open your arms to godly universal energy with gratitude, and just say, well, you know, I'm really looking forward to putting things in a better shape, and I really need help. And I really like, I don't know if you can see this here, this DNA kind of like really generating to that sense of heavenly influence. So this is all pretty good over here. So let's see. Actually, I do not take questions. I mean, you can type a question, but if it's a private question, a private reading, I do not do it here, because that's considered rude in my books. I know that some readers do it, but I'm not going to make 25 people wait until I answer somebody's question. I might have, and I don't know if you guys want me to do that, for in exchange of a small donation, let's say $5, just like simply live, where, you know, I can answer your questions quickly. I don't know, like, I mean, I'm also debating that, because it's not that easy kind of doing it publicly, but, and that's why I didn't do it so far. So the next one is Sagittarius. Sagittarius. But actually, you can book a reading with me. You can go to Tarot.ca and work it from there. So Sagittarius, ooh, trapped in fear. Interestingly enough, I mean, I always look the sign and the opposite sign, because it's kind of like on the same tangent. That kind of gives me some information. So we have trapped in fear, patience and planning. Look at this, like there is like a mock-up over here that goes in some kind of like solidity over here. And is this the money? or are those the leaves? These are clearly the stars. Then we have material harvest. For you guys, it's going to be quite a bit about the finances. I think you have been feeling a crunch over there. You are really snapping out to something. Oh my gosh, look at these 2 8s. Like you're going 8 and then it goes down to 7 and goes to 9. So this is really telling me, okay, so you're kind of like feeling, because these are clearly like mother and daughter over here. It's telling me that you have been in a situation where you really couldn't do much. That's kind of like that ultimate entrapment, right? So you can be trapped in a marriage, you can be trapped in a job, you can be just simply like not seeing the end of the kind of like that kind of like tunnel over here, where now you're kind of feeling, okay, you know, I kind of like need to get out of it. I really need to go in kind of like different direction, right? So this is really kind of like talking about you maybe being immobilized and, you know, not making a decision, or even having a victim attitude, or feeling like you're being held hostage by somebody and you are completely depending on their decision, right? So this is about facing your fears. And in this particular week, it's going to step backwards first. I'm going to see, okay, so where was I before this? And how did I deal with it? What was my aspiration, right? What kind of like goal did I chart for myself, right? So you're going to realize, okay, so I have already had certain steps made that kind of like got me over here. Like you just simply need to recognize that you entered a street that is a dead end, and you are kind of like coming out, backing up your car, and you're saying, okay, I'm taking a different path. And this different path is actually really taking you to the direction where you need to go. So you have basically realized maybe this simply means that you got a job or something that you committed yourself at some point to set yourself, I'm going to stick around here for a year and two. If it doesn't get better, if I don't get promotion, if I don't get more money, I'm moving on. And yet now, like, I mean, it's the 5th year, 6th year, you're still in the job. So this really tells me also, sevens, that you might be looking for kind of like a counsel or assistance. And this also tells me that you actually do have like that old tools that you really need to kind of like move it forward. Look at it. You're coming into this material harvest. You're coming into this feeling of luxury, feeling of, oh my gosh, I can really, really enjoy this. It's kind of like that law of attraction is like what you sow, you reap. So this week is going to be really ultimate for you. If you're not getting good results, then you're going to know, okay, I really was sticking in this kind of dead end street. And this is really talking about self-mastery and self-sufficiency, independence. And it's kind of like really saying, okay, I have been hesitant to do something that I know it is good for me, that I know kind of like I have to go. Maybe there was like the codependent energy over here. Maybe you kind of like felt, you know, the certain things were getting in the way. I was just talking this morning with my neighbor, and he's like telling me that he needs to do certain things, such as like write some letters about some issues that I'm not going to go into this right now. And I said to him, oh, no offense, but I keep hearing you say this to me for a year or two. Oh, I know, he said. Well, it's just kind of the day comes by because he's retired. He said, well, I'll just wake up, then I read my papers, and then I have my breakfast, and I have my coffee. So this is the thing, when you have lots of time, the time just like slips through your basically fingers. And then he does this and that, and I go for my walk, and then it's time to sleep, and the day passes by, and this is how it has been. I said, well, then you have to consciously make an effort, maybe cancel your newspaper and don't read it. Maybe you kind of limit it only to 1 hour and catch up with this. So you need to find that kind of like window. So you're going to clearly kind of like end this kind of like feeling of you're not moving in the right direction, and things are going to feel better. You need to approach things and people being firm but polite, telling them clearly. I don't know, you might be dealing also with some Leos in your life, somebody who has this kind of energy, somebody who maybe you also know you shouldn't kind of like step on this lion's tail as well. So that can clearly talk about it, because this is like showing this energy. But look at this, it says the situation will improve. So yeah, because you are getting through, I guess maybe in your own head, you still don't know if things are going to move forward or not. But this is going to telling me it will move forward, right? So, you know, maybe things look really difficult for you right now, but it might take some time for you. So, yeah, you do have hard work because this is physical. Physical always refers to hard work, but that end result might be worth it, right? So, this is now not the time to give up on wounded friendships or you sick relationships or something is ailing, right? So this is the time when you need to revisit that you have that hope for the future. So you need to take heart and continue to work toward partnership where kind of like both parties are fulfilled and both parties are happy and willing to go to the future. So that is going to be very, very important, right? So let's see what Thea says. I'm not for a girl who does live readings and it drains her. I have to bait. Well, that's the problem, Thea. And thank you for Thea. Thea. And that's exactly what I noticed. Like, this is very draining. I do it sometimes hours, sometimes 2 hours of these readings. And I'm drained for the rest of the day. You guys, you think, you know, that I roll in money, but I don't, because I'm just like not just saying, oh, well, this card means this card means that. I really channel this, and it's just like a current that kind of goes through me. And so I don't do many readings because I really want to do this right, and it's very important for me. So the next one would be Libra. Libra. Well, I don't know, like give and take. I'm paying it forward, Steve, at the same time. I really like this live connection with you guys, and I think it's totally cool. So I don't mind if we really can't, and maybe I should make one weekend a break, and kind of like, and I really didn't do it proper last time. And then at least you guys can chit chat with each other. I can pre-record and play it like Premiere, but you still can have the chat even though I'm not around or I'm elsewhere. But also I would resist and I would be elsewhere and still chatting. That's going to be twice the work. So I'm doing this way live. So Libra, oh my gosh, the dust. And again, I'm still having this energy of pause, of kind of like a wonder, of kind of like processing things, of kind of like really everybody this week will be looking things from a completely different perspective. You will be kind of like stepping in other people's shoes and kind of like dealing with that. For you, Libra, this is good luck, it's a good fortune, it's a cycle of growth. Over here, you know how life has like this up and downs, which we see it here. It's like something that has been charted to kind of like being in a full blossom. Remember, this is also going to change, but this is for me telling me, and especially have the soulmate card, you're going to be thriving, and like luck is going to be with you. Like not only that things will happen naturally, you're going to get where you want to get, but this is going to be that extra push. At the same time, have you set things up properly? Did you saw the good things? Have you been righteous in your beliefs? Because this is really telling you like you really are going to get your way, but at the same time, if you had any problems or you didn't deal with things properly, now this is time to kind of like replace this like with proper solutions and proper answers. So this is also my karma card, so you guys need to believe in destiny, and you know, you need to kind of like gain this wisdom from the past. Full moon, this full moon, Pisces full moon, harvest full moon connects to past and connect to past lives. So hence enabling you to go in this kind of like really positive direction. So you guys really need to build that strong belief that you deserve to be happy, that you deserve to be prosperous. Like, I mean, live long and prosper, right? Kind of like spa kind of a thing. When I see this, you guys go out and take advantage of every single opportunity. People will love you. I mean, so instead of pulling in, oh, nobody likes me, when I don't want to do it, no. People will love you no matter what you do. You can You will go out covered in, you know, old food. Like yesterday, I walked out covered in, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize my shirt, I kind of like had the food that fell on it, and I bent down and I saw, oh my gosh, I'm walking around with this stain on my shirt. It felt horrible. And and I saw a friend. I said, look at me, look at what kind of slob I am. I'm horrible slob. So, are you kidding me? You're so freaking cute. She said, like, I mean, not many people would even admit it. She's like, that's just fine. So like, it almost looks like you cannot do anything wrong. And this is like Libra Ascendant kind of over here, that you are going to feel this way. You are going to, if you guys take responsibility for your actions, you are going to really enjoy that fact that destiny is in your favor. So you really enjoy, right? But definitely, like, I mean, tides are turning over here for you. So this is absolutely lovely. Hi, Stephanie, you're on time. What did I not say? Be assertive. You're going to be assertive in love, in everything. And I don't really need to explain this. Like, this almost looks like a mask, but also to me looks like a key. So remove the mask, say what you want. We live in a strange times, guys. We live depending on likes and dislikes. It's kind of like things are measured with in a really wrong way, instead of like doing the right thing and people doing this tarot reading. And I really have my beef with tarot readers who are sugarcoating the stuff and telling people, oh, everything is fine, and just like ridiculous things, instead of really guiding them. Maybe they know more than me that people don't really want to hear, and not to be guided, and they want to be sugarcoated. But maybe they also need to understand that I really don't care much for people like that. They should go to different channels, and when they're ready to do some real work, they can come back here. And I am surprised that Barbie didn't scream doors. So, oh, maybe she's right. Maybe we should do Aries first. So let's do this. Look at this. 1, 11, and 11. That is what's going to be here. Oh my gosh, Aries, you're getting super spectacular message. So let's see what is going on with Aries. Of course, I can see that. Unicorns. Who has unicorns? This is like my theme this year. Hello, Mr. Unicorn. Look at this. Isn't he the freaking nicest thing? Made in China unicorn. But hello, people. How is everybody? I love you. I love you. Okay. And Tiger just looked at me like they were talking to me. And again, look at this. Oh my freaking God. Who's this? Aries? Look at that. You're having karma card. 2 majors. Again. This is really amazing. The truth. Look at that. Universal scales. This is absolutely perfect. And then universe. So the last 2 cards of the major arcana, which is freaking fantastic. And then let's kind of add in something. You know, I thought yin and yang, something good comes with something, but no, not for you. Fulfillment of wishes. Holy smoke over here. So again, this is it. How did you planted your seeds? Did you plant it properly? Because right now, this is the time to cash in. This is the time to kind of get advantage of it, and kind of like time to get results for some kind of like stuff. It really couldn't get better than this, guys. Literally, look at this. But these are also ending cards of major arcana, and this is the ending card of that heart kind of a thing, kind of like fulfilling. So Aries, I can really talk about this combination for freaking forever. And I'm going to take in account that you are basically sign that really wants get cat really quickly to the point. So this is kind of like, to me, talking about revelation. There's like the cosmic consciousness. Okay, I know this is like a high end, but talk about truth. It's kind of like a wake-up call. You are kind of like understanding certain things. You kind of like maybe have been going left and right, and you're also evaluating the past. This is like ultimate card of, okay, the line is in the sand. What you did. Let's see how you did it, kind of a thing. You kind of like turn around your test and kind of like put your pen down, kind of a card. And this is saying, no matter what happened, because we tend to think, oh, we have to pass this test, we have to pass this test. Well, that's the physical life over here. but maybe sometimes we pass the test with actually having these bad circumstances and how we dealt with them. That's kind of like what it means in this kind of karmic thing over here, right? So this card is really talking that certain significant change has to be done in certain area of your life. So you're taking this full moon and you're like really running with it. So make sure you hear that initial explanation about it, and you're kind of like really evaluating your judgment and how you're looking about that, and you're kind of like coming up to kind of like new consciousness, because this really talks about the journey has been completed, right? This universe is the last of the major arcana cards, and it's really talking about, hey, you accomplished your travels. It can literally mean travel, but this really talks about obtaining that knowledge that is really needed to kind of like push you in the kind of like new kind of like state. To me, this would be the ultimate genie card, right? And that's why I declared it sort of like a little bit later karma card, because it's kind of half karma card. It means it's happening right then, right now. So the world is yours to command, just like a genie. I am here for you. I'm giving wishes. So you can at this stage start and reset and start new, because this is basically your reminder that the same energy that is making up in the stars in the sky, because look at this, we see this Milky Way, and it's saying put things in perspective, don't take yourself that seriously, and yet there's like something shining really, really brightly on you. And let's see your angel card. Perfect timing. It's true. It is all about the now, and it is all happening. It's integration. I also feel, guys, that some of you may have been unhealthy physically or emotionally or mentally, and that you're going to feel completely different. Either you're going to find a solution, you're going to tramp into solution, and things are going to be so much better, and that's going to work out properly. So that was Aries. My goodness, such a good thing. And Barbie is going to tell me the doors right now. So what are the doors, guys? So it's going to be, you need to think of a question, and I'm going to shuffle the cards. And where the heck is my little thing over here? I opened the wrong program. So shuffling the cards and going to pull 3 cards to give you answers. You cannot ask the same question. If you did get the answer in the first question, you can ask a small little part of that question, as you probably think it will be a good things to go toward that question, which kind of like return back to all of us who asked go back to the drawing board, ask a different question. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to cut it 3 times over here, and let's see what's happening. So door number 1 means, let me go back to my screen, means 3 of Cups. This is talking about nourishment. It talks about feeling comfortable. It talks about energy that properly works. This is like, I mean, really big yes over here. It is really happening. You're going to feel discomfort. You're going to feel the things are happening. So there is like about kind of like joining in and doing things. So the answer is really clear yes to this. The door number 2 is 7 of Wands. So here is like more or less a message saying, well, you need to insist on something. You need to insist that whatever you wanted was the correct thing to ask. And yes, it's telling you, yeah, actually you're going in the right direction. You need to continue. And sometimes this means taking your little paw out and saying no, like Matrix does this to Tiger when Tiger wants to kind of like jump on him. So it will be no. So this is still yes, even though it's saying you will need to defend your turf. And the door number 3, Ace of Cups. You see, when we ask proper questions, we cannot get answers. And this is yes. I really think somebody was asking for some kind of emotional question over here. And it's kind of really interesting. The kitty cat wants the fishy, little betta fish. Siamese fighting fish. And the fish is not freaking taking it. Look at that. It's going to, I'll show you. So Ace of Cups to me is always about seeding this energy and moving it forward. Maybe you wanted a new beginning. Maybe you wanted to turn a new leaf. Maybe you wanted to feel good about it. So it's saying, yeah, it's a direction that clearly can be explored, and it might happen the way you have envisioned it. So, yay. So the next sign I'm going to read, so we have 4 more signs. It's going to be Aquarius. Aqua girls and aqua boys. Do we have any Aquarians over here? Christian, I'm right now on Aquarius. The last one was Aries. Aquarius, you have, we got our card, Hope. And I love this card. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it. It just looks like it's a big light. But look at it. There is like something in the heart of it. Almost looks to me like a walnut. And there is like this new soul coming through. And I have never felt such strong energy with this card as I'm feeling it right now. I'm going to tell you what I saw. Just like flash before my eyes. I saw a prisoner in that ugly jump orange suit, even though this is yellow. But that's kind of how it came across to me. It almost like feels that underneath this light, there are like shackles. And it almost like feels to me that they are being taken down. That we are kind of like feeling that there was like a reason why energy have been constrained. There's like something coming through. This also can be a very spiritual self that, oh my gosh, is going to feel like that. And apologize if this really sounds weird to you, that something is going to inhabit your body. Some spirit or angel, it's literally going to enter. You need to be able to allow them to, and massive healing is going to take place. Massive hope is going to take place over here. So yes, guys, if you have inner planets or ascendant in Aquarius, this is a really good reading for you to look into this, right? So this is going to be this week of hope and faith and healing and success, enlightenment. Like, there is a reason why this to me feels like a favorite card. Isn't this the most amazing thing that happens in our life? When you're waiting for the results and you don't know if you passed, when you really want something nice to happen to you but you don't think it will, and it happens, right? This is what this card is really talking about, that something that we felt it was impossible indeed becomes possible. What better thing can happen to us as humans than this, right? This is not a card where you see the piles of money. You might feel that for a while, but it's not lasting. This is energizing in every single cell of the body, right? So it's very important. So the future is yours, because this is, I mean, for Aquarians, getting their Aquarian card, this is really talking about need to maintain this positive attitude, need to kind of like push things forward. It really needs to go. And also says choose wisely. Choose wisely where you're going, and then step on the gas. It is really important, Aquarians, to get rid of some crappy habits, whatever it was. And maybe you have fallen back because you felt those shackles, you felt you cannot move forward, you felt you don't know how to move forward, maybe you felt stuck, maybe you have been spreading yourself too thin and going in all directions. Well, you need to step on the gas. Again, please read my explanation for full moon, because I have given advice not to step on a gas pedal. But since you will, just make sure it doesn't take you to the ditch. You need to go in the right direction. So you really need to know how to maneuver that situation. So think about like a chess player. Think about all the possibilities, so you will be prepared, and you need to be prepared with moving so fast in how you're going to do it. Compromise. That kind of like does make sense to me. Look at this. There is like this Libran energy over here. It kind of like means, hey, you're not going to win all, and this is not about winning. Don't even think in this direction, right? So compromise is about creating happy outcome, but there's like a necessity to kind of give a little, right? So allow yourself to become clear about what is truly important to you, right? And be open to changing your position. I know this is a lot to ask from a fixed sign, isn't it? Like, it's just like, no, no, I'm staying on this planet. I know it's burning, but no, I like this planet, but it's going to burn. No. So, hello, maybe it is in their best interest kind of a thing, right? So a little bit of cooperation is going to really, really take you far, and kind of like be able to even be humble and be able to say that you're wrong, and I really think that is going to push you 20 steps forward, versus the attitude that you have is going to push you 20 steps backward. So it's going to be kind of like readjusting your own personality, or rather to say our own personality. Okay, so now let's go with the sign that actually has this full moon, Pisces. So the full moon is in your sign, and it's going to be really, really important over here. So, and guys, also keep in mind, Steve made a really good point. Steve said, well, I'm not in Aquarius, but it resonated a lot with me. First of all, Steve, you are on the same tangent. Aquarius and Leo are exactly the same. That's just the two sides of a coin. It's just like looking a coin on one side and saying, you know, it's like, look at it, it's like my necklace. So it does have Aquarius on one side, but it's just like saying, well, nothing exists on the other. Oh, look at that girl. But the other side also says, and this is what I did for myself, a chain that I gifted to myself, I believe 2 years ago, and it says perpetuum mobile. It means keep going, keep going. It's just like life is always in motion. That's like, to me, the karmic motion. So this is how it's Aquarius, and it is basically Leo. It's like what is dark to Aquarius is light to Leo, and vice versa. So it's going to work. Another thing is, like, you guys who are on this live, you will find resonance in all the readings. And you know how I say, oh, check this and check this when I do the general like reading here? You should basically check all. Right, Savvy girl? Savvy girl? Aren't you a little bit late for Aquarius reading? No? Madame, February 4th? So Pisces. Pardon my delay. So let me just write here a new one over here. So, Pisces. Oh, now when I managed to put a camera spotlight on her, she just decides to leave. So Pisces, emotional loss. Of course, because it's a full moon. Of course, because you're taking to the freaking maximum of the depth. So this is really telling me that glass is like too full, and it's not flowing. It's not kind of cleansing it. It's kind of like, did you ever leave a glass on a kitchen counter for a day or two, and then all of a sudden starting to see, well, thinking like, well, I'm God, I just created life. All I did was just put it on a counter, and look at all this green stuff and stuff flying in it and flowing in it, right? So it's like really time for you to understand who basically deserves your attention, who doesn't. Because look at this. This is very emotional. This is going to be a very, very emotional time for you. Look at that. It says emotional loss. You will be really thinking about things that are almost like you're going to be self-defeating yourself, right? Because to me, this card really talks about when we think about things that we cannot get, and then we feel sad for ourselves, right? We all have been there. But we also have to learn how not to stay there or even go there. So this could simply mean talking about grieving, loss of something, or something you have been really emotionally attached to, or understanding that you really need to heal, right? So you need to really honor your feelings. That's the key. That's the key of your sign. And then when you kind of look into that, then you will continue your journey. Look at this young man over here. He is sad. He gets this healing energy. Look at that rainbow energy breaking down to him, healing all him. But he is not seeing all this beauty, the castle, everything that's happening, because he is turned inward. Also 5 and 4, 9, it is going back to your own sign, because Pisces card 18, 1 and 8 is 9 as well, right? So this is really telling you, okay, take a deep look where you have been, where you are now. let go of things. What precipitated you being here in a situation maybe that you don't like? Do not repeat it, so the new cycle will be completely different. You really need to look how you would approach things from a different perspective, and you really need to look how you really want to see things, right? So I really think this is time of this profound wisdom. Look at this. Your heart is opening, and it's really telling you, okay, whatever something happened here, maybe it is really time to let go, because this is about healing energy. Maybe you have been giving and giving and giving and draining yourself from this kind of like flow of energy. Maybe, you know, somebody turned their back onto you. Maybe you are kind of like longing for change, and somebody slammed the door in like in your face, and kind of like it really didn't happen. So I would really say, because you're getting this Empress energy, you're getting this fertility, you really need to keep an eye open for something that's going to be nourishing. Maybe you're going to be looking for something that is going to create synchronicity. So that can be some kind of book. Okay, I had people telling me, well, you know, you can go to these old bookstores and kind of secondhand, and I think it's a beautiful way of recycling books. And I have a friend who goes into something that we call in Canada Value Village, and it's all recycling, all secondhand. So she goes to the book section and she says, well, this is a question I have and I'm looking for an answer. And she goes towards self-help or whatever, and then she finds the book. She says, this is what I found today, that was the answer to me. It's almost like a tarot in a way, right? So you might be getting some kind of books, or you might be kind of like attracted to kind of like hear a TED speak, or, you know, to go in some kind of like workshop, or just listen to some speakers. Also kind of like new people might kind of like give you a completely different attitude. So you need to have faith over here, because this is a perfect time for you to kind of like reevaluate and kind of like, again, search your own heart, because you might be getting completely different insights over here, right? Because this is also about manifestation and growth. And that glass that I was telling you, it is murky. Hey, come on, how about the dishwasher? How about elbow grease and cleaning it? Because this is the card where the happiness and comfort and abundance and prosperity and children and writing and creativity thoughts happen, right? So this is like where you are, you know how we did as kids this experiments in the school. You would take, I don't know, we did at least in Croatia, we would use navy beans, and then you would put a bean in the water and then you would watch it grow. So this is not putting the seed in that would the aces, like the moment when you plop it in the water. No, this is the moment when it's actually growing. So you're saying, oh my God, life. I created life. I mixed two things together and I created life. So this is about opening yourself to this kind of like force and interacting with others, right? Even if you're in the midst of this sadness, it's going to be just like simply wiped out, right? So this isn't time for you to be inconsiderate or possessive or forceful or sad or pushy. And remember how I said there is a way of getting yourself out of this mode. And I generally get myself really, really quickly out of this mode by simply watching a comedy. And I kind of make a point of just making myself laugh, even maybe forcefully, because that immediately puts me in a kind of like different state of mind. So that's correct. Reconsider what you're doing. Reconsider which things are kind of like making you sad and which things you don't really want to experience. So maybe it is just simply a time to kind of look at it differently. It's again talking about re-evaluation of some sort, and this is talking about those better times will come, or you're going to realize that simply that you just need kind of like different things. So you want to wash this glass, you want to have something else served in it, and you really, really want to enjoy it. So, well, you know, I really think Pisces, this full moon is going to be clearly for you letting go of emotional baggage in order to kind of like welcome a better, more nourishing energy in your life. Well, thank you, Sally, for being here. It's really appreciated over here. Ooh, creative guru, you have Pisces moon, and Sappho showed up. Interesting. So now the next one will be Taurus. Let's see, Taurus, and after you is Capricorn, and after that is going to be messages for the room. So Taurus, two majors again, and also 28 together is like 2 and 8 is 10. This is another karma card. So we have this karma card, and we will have the Wheel of Fortune kind of hidden in it. Look at this. We have the power and the truth, and this is the universal truth. So this is about Taurus handling things properly. Maybe there has been some kind of like force in your life. This also can talk about commitment. Again, here, these cards are really representing two very fixed signs. We fixed signs are willing to work very, very hard to create some kind of structure. But if somebody messes with the structure, we are willing to freaking destroy them. That's why we can really be good for establishing the project that maybe somebody initiated, but we're also not good in finishing them. So we are sort of like that middle force that kind of like needs to set things straight. You know, you don't even know if this, you know, egg is going to hatch, but when it's hatched, we are going to create this environment for this to grow properly to its fulfillment. And then what happens after, like you have a chicken, we don't really care anymore. And that's kind of like the energies I'm seeing over here, because this card here is representing inner strength and courage and compassion and generosity, also love, commitment, right? These are like really beautiful qualities. They're really talking about how we need to work in our life. If, for example, we have anything inconvenient or adverse, right? So you really need to this week set kind of like times aside to understand that you need to channel things out and think about things in order to achieve positive results, right? So this is about harmony. This is about understanding how to move forward. If you made a mistake, this is a chance for you. This is really talking about hello. It's almost like saying test is coming, and then you don't study. This is saying study for the freaking test, and you're having both. This is the basically last call before it's happening. Very, very important. Saying, okay, luck is on your side. You're going to get questions, you know, but because I will know that you know the questions, I want you to do and explain them really, really well, right? So you are supposed to kind of like figure it out. How can you make situation that currently exists better, not only for you, but for everybody else? Especially, this is about this wake-up call. This is about if you have just like, 1 week to straighten things out, what would you do? This is how important this week is going to be. Just think about it. Imagine if you are, I'm sorry to use extreme example, if you're to die in a week now, what would you like to say and to whom? You know, just kind of like react and pretend that this is what is happening, because this is like exactly saying, well, this is it. That's what you did. So you still have time and warning to pack in whatever you want to pack in. So maybe you want to approach people you feel they wronged you. Maybe you want to approach people you've wronged. Maybe you want to set a clean slate. You do have the time to make a difference over here. This is really, really, really important over here. Take action. Did I not say? Yes, take action. And look at this. Look at this like freaking star over here. Almost like looks to me like Chariot card, where it's saying, okay, now it's not the time to sit back and do nothing, because that's exactly going to be the thing that you're going to be judged. Imagine somebody says to you, that you're in a court setting, and it says, okay, you have been told you can change this, and you did nothing. Why? It's almost like going to look really bad on you, where, you could have made a difference. So this is basically telling me that angels are waiting for you to sort of like take this next step and, stop procrastinating whatever you're doing. Because in your heart, guys, this is like the line of heart. You really know what to do, so keep going. So this again, go back to see what I said about this full moon, because this is also about focusing on an area of your life. So whatever this is, career, relationships, whatever, right? You must actively be focused on a pursuit of what you want, and be do it right by you and by everybody else. Very important that you're sort of on the most ultimate good behavior, to go out of your way to kind of like help mankind or something. Your fixed sign, there is like telling you, okay, you need to build something. There's like still some kind of energy that really needs to be placed into that, and it's almost like an order from the universe. The last one that I see here is Capricorn. So let's see. Oh my god, I wrote this thing weirdly. So let's see. Capricorn again. Radio Guru, she says, for me, I have been getting this message around career, like what would be optimal for me to have in place before getting the influx of client sales I have been moving to attract. What would be the optimal for me to have in place? I was just about to say, this really sounds like Earth is asking. I couldn't think of your sign. Oh, thank you, Taya. So now that is really, really interesting. Optimal. You see, optimal is very man-like question, because karma doesn't work this way. Karma says, how about why are you here? So saying, okay, what kind of clients and sales are attracting right now? Just think about what you have and what kind of energies they're bringing, because that's to some extent energy you have reflected out in universe maybe previously, and see what you're like changing. Because look at this, karma card came through over here, and it's really interesting to me because it really reminds me of the magician, but this is like justice card, and yet he has all these 4 elements in this kind of like full circle. You can see how, you know, today this is going to be extremely powerful week. I kid you not. 2 majors. It's balance and authority. So Capricorn, you have to make sure that there is like a decision that is made that benefits everybody. You cannot steamroll others. You Capricorns, you have this enormous need for career success. You guys excel in no matter what you do. But sometimes you excel at the cost of the others. Because look at him, he has these 2 boulders. They're like just still simple sketches. But this is his vision. What else do we see? We see this aura, like manifesting angelic energy and physical energy over here. Capricorns, you might be dealing with some kind of legal cases. As legal cases really talking about here, you needing to put things in balance, and things will go in your favor. The judgment will be in your favor if you're going through legal cases or exams or something. It's going to be positive. But it's also saying that you really have to be careful in how do you apply this entire knowledge, how do you apply this authority, right? This is this ultimate kind of like emperor. So emperor can be really harsh. It can be father, it could be authoritative energy, kind of like stiff, could be very masculine, but it's also talking about this logic and strength and wisdom and power. No, it's kind of like really strange. It represents Aries and logic, kind of like the more goes with the sheer power, I can do it kind of a thing. This to me, it's more like a teaching tool. There's like something that needs to be learned, and it's really talking about week is going to be learning about masculine elements. We live in a society where masculinity is like highly appreciated and femininity isn't, right? So in this particular case, with both masculine cards, it's really talking about that maybe something that you really want to go, like, I mean, in this direction, you need to kind of balance it in order for you to make it, as Creative Guru call it, optimal, right? So to me, this is a card that really talks about, as I said, it symbolizes father figure or individual with authority, kind of like somebody who can have this like really high influence in business, the key plum client, a plum job, plum contract, right? So you kind of like really need to understand that maybe this person is going to be using logic in order to create their decision. And so you need to be willing and helpful to present things in a way this person will be able to process and understand. So you need to act like a leader, like an expert, like cool-headed kind of a thing, and kind of like have this structure that you maybe envision, kind of like build into your plans and build new foundations, right? So it's really, really important to make sure that any foolishness and any belligerence or greed or egotism or narcissism or self-centeredness is like cleared out from your horizon. And anything that you approach with me attitude is going to be really hard to handle. In fact, it's really asking you to look at this universal force of what can come from two different sides, because karma cards means you're being tested. Yep, you're being rewarded maybe for the past actions, but also you're being tested. And look, big happy changes. I really think, because look at this, is adding to 15, it's this double energy, right? So that's kind of like, hey, are you going to go to whatever is drag of your choice, or you're not going to? So isn't this very similar to that basically hope card over here? So I really think that this is going to be something that you are going to be really rejoicing, and some positive changes will be coming in your life. It's almost like a reset motion. So whether this is like, I mean, career path or entering your relationship, again, go back to the very beginning of this live to hear what I basically stressed out about this full moon, which is harvest moon. Very, very important, what kind of harvest you want in your life. So maybe you are asking yourself, Capricorns, like, hey, you know, I should go there, but you're forgetting that there's like sort of like faith that comes into it. This is kind of ultimately taking a leap of faith, right? Or feeling that certain things are maybe beyond your ability. This card really, to me, it's telling me that you need to trust the opportunities that are before you and that they are going to bring you happiness, right? So, you know, there will be options that will be presented to you, and they wouldn't be presented unless you're ready for them. So you really need to release your fears, and you need to follow your heart, guys. So I really think that is very, very important. Yeah. So when we come to Libra seasons, everything will have to be looked upon. That's what happens during air signs over here. So this is it. I'm going to do one more thing where it's going to be one more card with the messages for the room. And where is the deck that I wanted to do for that? Yes, I'm going to use Law of Attraction deck for this. Oops, one card, one behind. So these are the messages for the room. Let me write down the timestamp over here. So let's see. Messages for the room. Ooh, look at that. We have this yin and yang, which is also the cover for this Law of Attraction deck. Two of Cups. You want something beautiful happen to you. You need to challenge yourself, because the good comes with the bad. And it's always going to have something you don't like. Will you be able to isolate it? Will you be able to work around it? Because look at this, is like that human energy, the sky versus the universe over here. So you aim for the stars, but you need to also understand what is going on through right now. Like, it almost like tells me there's like some nice gentle energy, and it's going to really ask you how you deal with this. One direction is going to put you really high up, another direction can put you way down. I also feel that, guys, we need to conquer certain things inside. That it looks like that some of us are really fighting the external forces and everything that is going on, and this is really telling me this is the wrong direction to go, because this harvest is around the corner. Look at this, is like the Ace of Cups. There is like this like really positive energy that is really coming through. These cards don't have negative feeling, negative reversed energy over here. So this to me is the card of happiness, and this to me is the card of harmony. So we need to overcome certain things. We need to overcome fears, or maybe we need to overcome how we handle other people, because it sounds to me that and look at this is all adding to 8. It goes back to this power, it goes back to this control, it goes back to if we are like too explosive, if we are too quick to be angered, if we are too quick to react instead of like really pulling things in. This is asking us to use emotional and gentle energies to create this really space that we really, really want. So this is it. That's what I have. You guys have anything? Yes, Sagittarius reading is finished, and it is at 58:20. You can take a look at it, and hopefully that is what's going to happen. So creative guru, yin yang. Yes, well, that's the normal thing, and people blame themselves when they're not doing well, and when they're doing well they think this is just normal, and this is exactly where we need to adjust and realize, okay, it's just a flow, we have to keep going. That's the point. We have to keep going and keep trying to actually do the right thing and do a good thing. So hey Michelle, you were here, I didn't notice you before. I've been in BC for 3 weeks, so I'm glad to hear your voice. Well, enjoy BC. Probably have a better weather than we have in Toronto, even though I only have to say I'm enjoying the day. Today it's 21 degrees or so. Apologize, I can't quickly translate this to Fahrenheit. I would guess it is in 70s, which is really nice weather. So I wish everybody a beautiful week. Please guys, when this is uploaded, check it out one more time. This seems to be a very, very important week for everybody. So thank you everybody, guys. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share. And Barbie, I'm going to send you my notes and we'll go from there. Next week is the next challenge, and until then I wish you all the best. Next week I'll be releasing X series and we'll go from there. Love you, love you, love you to bits and pieces, you know that. So let me see, where is my music to let you play some music before I say goodbye, and then I'm going to say my kisses. I'm surprised that Seth is not showing up to say something, but you never know, maybe she will. Okay guys, love you. Congratulations.